So we're going to look at some of the guys you could be looking to buy this offseason as dynasty options, and some guys you're going to look to sell. So here are 5 guys that Heath has told us you could be looking to improve your team with: Deshaun Watson, J.K. Dobbins, Drake London, Treylon Burks, and Kyle Pitts. And so, Heath, when it comes to Deshaun Watson, and we know he's been, sort of thrown into the mix following the suspension, so it's hard to really judge him fully as a fantasy asset, even comparing him to his days with Houston. But a full offseason, we'll see what tweaks they make to the offense. Can Deshaun Watson turn back the clock and be a star fantasy quarterback once again?
Absolutely. I expect that he will. Listen, it probably wasn't fair to expect Deshaun Watson after almost 2 years with no football to come back and be the same guy that he's been. But the fact that he's struggled just a little bit in his first games back opens up a buying window for dynasty managers, because he's still young enough that I think you have a chance for a half a decade of top 5 quarterback performance. He's not a top 5 dynasty quarterback, but he's firmly inside the top 10. He's right in that discussion with guys like Kyler Murray, guys like Lamar Jackson. I think that you could consider him in that 6 to 8 range, and he might be available for a QB 12 or worse price range.
Dave, you like Deshaun Watson in the future to still be a good fantasy quarterback?
I think he can be good. Will he ever get back to where he was in Houston? That's what I'm a little bit nervous about. But I do think that he's in that top 12 rest of career type range. And think about it, in fantasy football, someone in every dynasty league had to replace Deshaun Watson with a quarterback. What if they went and they got Trevor Lawrence? Or what if they got Jalen Hurts? And they've got a younger quarterback that they feel more comfortable with moving forward. They will be more than willing to trade Deshaun Watson, maybe even for a late first-round pick.
We know that the upside for Drake London could be through the roof if the Falcons quarterback situation is good, and the same thing with Kyle Pitts. And so, Heath, when we look at the Falcons guys and what the upside is for them, is it dependent on Desmond Ridder becoming improving as the starter there? Is it dependent on another quarterback coming in? What do you see the outlook for those 2 guys in 2023 and beyond?
I think you're just making the bet that the quarterback situation will not be worse than it was this year. And you got about 90% chance of being right, because 90% of teams in the NFL have a better quarterback situation than the Falcons did this year. But more importantly, I'm just always betting on first-round rookie wide receivers coming off of struggles. This is a guy who was a consensus top 3 or 4 pick for sure in dynasty rookie drafts last year. If you could get him for a late first in this 2023 draft, even though it's viewed as a better draft, I would be thrilled to do that. And then Pitts, for 2 years running, was the surefire #1 dynasty tight end, regardless of what he'd performed as. After 2 years of not delivering, people are starting to come off of that. It's Mark Andrews ahead of him. It's other people ahead of him. And so if I can get Kyle Pitts for anything less than the #1 tight end in dynasty value, I'm trying to acquire him.
2 guys you're looking to buy?
I'm especially looking to buy Kyle Pitts, because even if things go bad in his 3rd season in Atlanta, his 4th season in Atlanta, I think he could get rejuvenated by the time that he's on his 2nd contract. Another team can bring him on. He'll be 22 when the season starts next year. So super young, huge upside. The tight end position is going to be one that's going to be really difficult to fill. That's the one that I'm going to chase this offseason in my dynasty league.
And London, look, you're starting to see it. The last 2 games for him without Kyle Pitts, he's targets have been up 12 or more PPR points in those 2 games. So hopefully that's the type of player you're getting as a floor, 12 PPR points for the future, 2023 and beyond. Heath, when it comes to J.K. Dobbins, now we're seeing him healthy for the last 2 games, over 120 yards rushing. Is he back in the good graces of fantasy managers and dynasty managers as an upper echelon fantasy option?
I think a top 10 dynasty running back when we get to the offseason will still just be 24 at the start of the year, so still should have 3 good seasons left. We often see running backs better in that 2nd year after the ACL surgery than they are in the 1st year. He could be a top 10 guy in redraft next year, and definitely a top 10 guy in dynasty.
You agree, Dave, knowing that they got to pay Lamar Jackson, the offensive line is going to be a little bit of a question mark, the receiving core is still a question mark, can J.K. Dobbins just overcome it because of the team he plays on?
I'm going to go the other way on this one. We've seen the injuries rack up for him. He hasn't necessarily regained all of his explosiveness since coming back from his current injury. Hopefully he stays healthy and has a normal offseason this year, but it doesn't mean he's going to stay healthy for all of next year. I'd be more than happy to pay more for in a trade Drake London or Kyle Pitts ahead of J.K. Dobbins. Plus, the people who have J.K. Dobbins on their dynasty teams, they're not going to give him up unless they really think.
You got to overpay for him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And if you're going to overpay for him, I think you're making a huge mistake.